romantic night turned possibly the worst date ever. A video showing two people sharing a private moment, embracing at a Coldplay concert, now taking over.
All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
His wife has now deactivated her account. The wife later dropped her married name.
Astronomer CEO Andy Byron has resigned.
Company astronomer says that Andy Byron has now stepped down. Everybody's talking about the story.
CEO caught on kiss cam at a Coldplay concert, snuggling with his head of human resources.
Parodies and memes are flooding social media.
Oh, look at these two. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
Okay.
You ever hear of a single kiss that cost someone $100 million? Picture this: a Coldplay concert, lights flashing, confetti falling like magic. The crowd is swaying, couples are holding each other close, and then the kiss cam hits. But this isn't your typical concert romance. On that big screen is Andy Byron, billionaire CEO of Astronomer, locked arm in arm with Kristin Cabot, the HR chief of his company, except she's not his wife. And he's definitely not her husband. Chris Martin, Coldplay's frontman, cracks a joke, something about affairs or being shy, and the crowd laughs. But what no one realized in that moment was that this lighthearted kiss cam would explode into a viral nightmare that would shake the internet, destroy careers, and spark a lawsuit demanding an eye-watering $100 million in damages. Because when the clip hit TikTok and Twitter, the world found out. Kristin's husband, furious, humiliated, and blindsided, decided to fight back. And he's not just fighting for revenge, he's suing Andy Byron for psychological harm, public humiliation, and the chaos that Kiss brought to his life. This isn't just a messy workplace affair. This is a corporate scandal turned legal battlefield, with one man demanding $100 million for a kiss that might go down as the most expensive kiss in history.
His wife has now deactivated her account. The wife later dropped her married name.
My thought process is that we're never gonna look at kiss cams the same, right? Like, that's my thought process. And one thought, I was like, you know what? They should have had and just kissed and no one would have made a big deal of it. But I think their fear of being caught made them run and made...
The night was supposed to be perfect. Coldplay was playing to a sold-out arena, the energy electric, and the kiss cam, usually a cute, harmless moment, was making its usual rounds. But when that lens landed on Andy Byron, the billionaire CEO of Astronomer, and Kristin Cabot, the company's HR chief, the entire arena felt something shift. Andy, dressed like the picture-perfect tech mogul, had his arm around Kristin, smiling like nothing was wrong. The only problem? Andy is married to Megan Byron. Kristin is married to someone else, a husband now known as the man demanding $100 million for the humiliation that followed. As the camera zoomed in, the crowd cheered, expecting a sweet kiss. But the look on Kristin's face said it all. Pure shock, as if she knew her world had just been set on fire in front of thousands. Andy tried to duck out of the frame, hiding behind the arena railing, but it was too late. The damage was done. And then, as if to twist the knife, Chris Martin leaned into the mic with the now iconic line, either they're having an affair, or they're just very shy. The audience laughed, but this was no joke. That one moment became a spark. Within minutes, someone uploaded the clip to TikTok, and like gasoline on a fire, it went viral. Millions of views, thousands of comments, and an internet full of amateur detectives ready to expose the truth. This wasn't just a kiss cam, it was a career-ending, marriage-destroying, lawsuit-triggering moment that the entire world would soon be talking about, but the real storm was just beginning.
That CEO of Astronomer resigned. Let me tell you what that actually means. Behind closed doors, the board is saying we have to, as quickly as possible, get the company on track and get the confidence of people. We don't want to have a long argument about this. We want you to land on your feet. So therefore, I guarantee you he was given severance to leave the company, and probably a very sweet one at that. Doesn't make sense that we're giving severance to somebody who did something wrong. But on the other hand, what it does is it shuts down the ability for the other person to sue the company, because oftentimes people get angry once they sit and stew about it and say, hey, this actually wasn't fair and I should be able to do what I want, or whatever the argument is. And it allows things to move forward and allows things to stay secret. That's the other thing, and the reason that severance helps a company. Stick it in my other TikTok. He probably is going to remain on the board of directors, so he'll have some stake in the company.
Because TikTok wasn't done yet. The internet is ruthless. Within an hour of that kiss cam going viral, TikTok, Twitter, and Reddit had already gone into full investigation mode. Screenshots from the concert clip were slowed down, faces zoomed in, and within minutes, Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot were identified. LinkedIn profiles were uncovered. Old company photos were dug up. Wedding pictures of both Andy and Kristin were circulating online, just to prove one brutal fact: neither of them were kissing their spouse. Reddit threads exploded with timelines, rumors, and workplace tea. Former astronomer employees popped up with cryptic comments like, "This explains so much about promotions and HR favoritism." It was no longer just a concert moment. It was a corporate scandal unraveling in real time. But the real bombshell dropped when Kristin Cabot's husband, furious at being humiliated on a global scale, announced through his lawyers that he was suing Andy Byron for $100 million in damages. The lawsuit claimed that the viral kiss had caused severe psychological harm, public embarrassment, and humiliation that no amount of money could fix. His attorney released a statement saying, "Our client's life and marriage have been publicly shattered. This wasn't just an affair, it was a broadcast betrayal, seen by millions. We are seeking damages for the emotional and psychological destruction caused by Mr. Byron's reckless actions." The internet exploded. Memes about the $100 million kiss started trending. People debated whether the lawsuit was over the top or completely justified. Some said, "If my spouse cheated on me on a jumbotron and went viral, I'd sue for even more." Others claimed the lawsuit was a PR move, but one thing was clear: the scandal wasn't going away anytime soon. And while the legal drama was heating up, another unexpected player in the story was quietly winning the public's heart: Megan Byron, Andy's wife. But Megan's response wasn't what anyone expected. While the internet tore Andy Byron apart and Kristin Cabot's husband waged a $100 million legal war, Megan Byron, Andy's wife, chose a very different strategy. She didn't post a single angry word online. She didn't grant interviews, make dramatic statements, or air her pain on social media. Instead, Megan made one small but powerful move. She quietly removed Byron from her social media profiles. No posts, no cryptic messages, just a silent shift that spoke louder than any statement could. Within hours, people noticed. Screenshots of her profile changes went viral. Her Instagram went private. Her Facebook deleted. And the public instantly understood what that meant. Megan was done. And that silence, it turned her into a symbol of strength. Comment sections were flooded with support. "Protect Megan at all costs," one viral tweet said. Another read, "She handled this better than I ever could. The definition of grace." While Andy and Kristin were being roasted online, Megan was being celebrated as the quiet, dignified hero of the entire story. But this wasn't just about sympathy. People started digging into Megan's background, her career, her charitable work, and the narrative shifted. She wasn't just the betrayed wife, she was the queen who didn't need to fight for attention. And as her silent stance gained traction, hashtags like Team Megan and Megan Deserves Better started trending across social media. Even more damaging for Andy, Megan's silence gave weight to every rumor swirling around him. Without saying a word, she let the world see just how deep the betrayal went. But while Megan gained public support, Andy's empire at Astronomer was collapsing fast, and the boardroom chaos was only beginning. While the internet treated the Coldplay kiss cam like a live soap opera, things inside Astronomer Inc. were imploding. Andy Byron wasn't just any CEO, he was the face of one of the fastest-growing AI companies in the world. Investors trusted him, employees idolized him, and clients believed in his vision. But all of that crumbled in days. The board of directors didn't waste time. As soon as the scandal and the $100 million lawsuit went viral, Andy was suspended from his role as CEO. Officially, they called it a temporary leave, but insiders revealed it was damage control on overdrive. Kristin Cabot? Her name vanished from Astronomer's leadership page like she never existed. No press statement, no goodbye announcement, just gone. This fueled even more speculation about NDAs, quiet settlements, and whether the company was preparing for massive legal exposure. Former employees flooded online forums and Reddit threads, painting a dark picture of the company's culture. Allegations of favoritism, whispered off as gossip about Andy and Kristin, and claims of uncomfortable power dynamics went viral. One anonymous review on Glassdoor read, "It all makes sense now. Promotions were based on more than merit. Toxic doesn't even begin to describe it." The fallout didn't stop with employees. Major clients began quietly distancing themselves. Contracts were paused, meetings were canceled, astronomers' once sterling reputation was suddenly radioactive. And the financial impact? Astronomers' valuations started plummeting as investors feared that the scandal and the ongoing lawsuit would not only hurt the company's image but also drag it into legal hell. Andy Byron went from tech visionary to internet punchline in less than a week. But while his company was sinking, Andy attempted a desperate move to save face: a public apology. But was his apology sincere, or just a last-ditch attempt to stop the bleeding? When the walls started closing in, his career crumbling, his marriage unraveling, and a $100 million lawsuit breathing down his neck, Andy Byron finally broke his silence. It wasn't a lazy Notes app screenshot or a half-hearted PR statement. Instead, Andy released what he called a personal message on multiple platforms. To my wife Megan, our children, and everyone I have disappointed, I am deeply sorry for the pain my actions have caused. This was a terrible lapse in judgment, and I take full responsibility. My family and my employees deserved better, and I failed them. The statement was raw, emotional, and carefully worded to sound human. No legal jargon, no corporate speak. He admitted that the fallout went far beyond what he had ever imagined. But was it real remorse or just strategic damage control? The public was divided. Some commenters praised the honesty. At least he owned up to it. Most CEOs would hide behind lawyers. Others weren't buying it. He's only sorry because he got caught on camera. Save the PR stunt for someone who believes it. The timing didn't help Andy's case either. The apology came after the scandal went viral, after Meghan's silent move made headlines, and after the lawsuit from Kristin's husband became front-page news. To many, it felt like Andy was only apologizing because his empire was on fire, not because he truly regretted what he did. And the internet? It's not a forgiving place. Memes about Andy's apology flooded social media with captions like, "Sorry, but not sorry enough to avoid the $100 million lawsuit." But as the apology sparked debates, Megan Byron had already made her next move, a move that would hit Andy where it hurt the most: his fortune. Because Megan wasn't just walking away. She was about to take half of everything he owned. If Andy Byron thought a public apology would slow the storm, he was dead wrong. Megan Byron had already made her decision. Quietly, behind the scenes, she was preparing divorce papers, and with Andy's fortune estimated at around $60 million, the math was brutal. With no prenup in place, Megan could walk away with half of everything, potentially $30 million or more. And that was just the beginning of Andy's financial nightmare. While Megan's divorce loomed, Kristin Cabot's husband wasn't backing down either. His $100 million lawsuit was gaining traction, with legal analysts dissecting the case on talk shows and news outlets. Some believed the lawsuit was aggressive, but not impossible to win, especially given the viral humiliation and the mental health toll that came with it. Others said it was a calculated move to push Andy into a massive settlement. Insiders close to Andy revealed that he was spiraling. Friends said he felt like he had lost everything: his family, his company, and his once untouchable reputation. One former colleague told reporters he didn't just blow up his marriage, he blew up his legacy. Every boardroom, every investor meeting, this is the first thing people think about now. The financial fallout didn't stop at personal losses. Astronomers' investors were rattled by the scandal. Some began hinting that they'd pull their stakes if Andy remained tied to the company in any capacity. Even Andy's friends in the tech world were distancing themselves, not wanting to be associated with the controversy. With a $30 million divorce on the table and a $100 million lawsuit threatening to sink him, Andy Byron's empire wasn't just shaken, it was crumbling into dust. But just when Andy thought things couldn't get worse, Coldplay's frontman, Chris Martin, decided to take one last swipe, keeping the fire alive. You'd think that after accidentally igniting one of the biggest corporate scandals of the year, Chris Martin would steer clear of the drama. But if anything, the Coldplay frontman leaned into it, subtly, playfully, and in a way that made the internet love him even more. Just days after the viral kiss cam clip dominated headlines, Chris Martin addressed the crowd during another show. With his trademark grin, he dropped a casual line that sent the audience into chaos. "Don't worry, unless you've done something sketchy when the cameras roll." The crowd erupted, laughing and cheering. Chris didn't have to say Andy Byron's name. Everyone knew exactly who he was talking about. The clip of Chris's comment spread across TikTok within hours, racking up millions of views and sparking a wave of Coldplay clapbacks memes. Fans started editing Chris Martin into clips of Andy's scandal, calling him the accidental moral compass of the entire saga. Some tweets read, "Chris Martin just ended a billionaire with one sentence." Others joked that Coldplay's next tour should be called the Kiss Cam Tour, with Andy Byron as the poster child. But Chris wasn't done. During a Q&A segment at another show, he laughed when someone yelled, "Don't kiss anyone that's not your spouse." Chris replied, "Trust me, we've all learned something from that one." Suddenly, Chris Martin, known for love ballads and stadium anthems, was being hailed as the subtle savage who kept the scandal alive. While fans were laughing, Andy's PR team was panicking. Every time Chris Martin cracked a joke, the scandal stayed in the spotlight. Instead of fading from the news cycle, the $100 million lawsuit and corporate drama stayed trending for weeks. But while Chris Martin's shade dominated the headlines, another key player in this mess, Kristin Cabot, had completely disappeared. While Andy Byron was being dragged across every social platform and Chris Martin's jokes kept the fire alive, the woman at the center of the scandal, Kristin Cabot, vanished like a ghost. The HR chief, whose job was literally to uphold workplace ethics and protect company integrity, suddenly found herself as the face of corporate hypocrisy. Astronomer Inc. quietly scrubbed her name from the leadership page. No press release, no farewell message, nothing. It was as if she had never existed. This only fueled more speculation. Was Kristin fired? Did she resign? Or was there a secret deal happening behind the scenes? Something involving NDAS, hush money, or a legal settlement. Rumors swirled that the board was negotiating a quiet exit package to avoid lawsuits from employees who could argue the scandal violated company ethics. But Kristin's biggest problem wasn't Astronomer, it was her husband. The same man who launched the $100 million lawsuit against Andy Byron had also been pushing Kristin out of their home. Sources close to the family revealed that Kristin's husband felt utterly humiliated by the viral kiss cam clip. Friends claimed he had cut all ties with her and was prepared to expose any text messages, emails, or evidence proving the affair had been going on long before the concert. Behind closed doors, Kristin's silence wasn't just about avoiding headlines. It was about legal survival. HR scandals are notoriously messy, especially when the HR chief is the one breaking the rules. Her involvement raised questions about favoritism, conflict of interest, and whether she had protected Andy during their affair. In the court of public opinion, Kristin was already branded as the corporate villain. Reddit threads shredded her reputation, with comments like, "She ruined 2 marriages and an entire company in one night." As one insider bluntly put it, Andy might recover someday. Kristin? She's done. There's no coming back from this. But while Kristin was hiding in silence, another unexpected figure was quietly becoming the star of the entire story. Kristin's husband, the man who dared to take on a billionaire. While Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot were drowning in scandal, Kristin's husband, once an unknown figure, was suddenly in the spotlight, and the internet loved him. He wasn't just the betrayed husband, he was the man who refused to stay silent. The man who went after a billionaire and demanded $100 million for the damage caused by that one viral kiss. Social media turned him into an icon of revenge. Hashtags like Justice for Cabot and 100 million kiss trended for days. TikTok edits of him, set to dramatic Coldplay songs, painted him as the wronged hero of a corporate soap opera. People praised him for standing up to Andy Byron with comments like, "Finally, someone is holding these rich CEOs accountable." He's not just suing for himself, he's suing for everyone who's been humiliated and cheated on. Legal experts chimed in on talk shows, debating whether the lawsuit had teeth. Some argued that the emotional distress claim was valid given the viral nature of the scandal. Others said the $100 million demand was a power move to force a massive settlement. Whatever the truth, the husband's fight resonated with the public. He became the face of accountability in a story filled with deceit, corporate power plays, and public humiliation. But while the world cheered for Kristin's husband, the pressure on Andy Byron reached its breaking point. His career was over, and the question became, could Andy ever recover, or was this truly the end of his empire? Behind closed doors, Astronomer's board made a swift decision. Andy Byron resigned. Officially, it was described as a mutual agreement, but insiders admitted it was corporate code for, "We're pushing you out before this gets worse." Reports suggest Andy left with a golden parachute, a severance package worth millions, plus stock options. But even that safety net might not survive the combined weight of Meghan's divorce settlement and Kristin's husband's $100 million lawsuit. Investors are jittery. Clients are distancing themselves. Astronomer is now synonymous with scandal. And Andy Byron's once flawless reputation is shattered beyond recognition. Could Andy bounce back? In theory, yes. Billionaires have staged comebacks from worse. He could write a book, launch a redemption podcast, or try to rebrand himself in a few years. But the reality is brutal. That Kiss Cam clip will follow him everywhere. Every pitch meeting, every media article, every attempt to rebuild his image, it will all circle back to that one careless moment. And now, with both a divorce battle and a $100 million lawsuit looming over his head, Andy isn't just fighting for his image, he's fighting to keep whatever's left of his fortune and legacy. The internet crowned him the villain of 2025. The only question now is, will this scandal define him forever? This wasn't just a cheating scandal. It wasn't just another CEO caught in a lie. This was the moment a single kiss, captured on a jumbotron and broadcast to the world, unraveled an empire, destroyed multiple marriages, and set off a legal battle worth $100 million. What makes this story hit harder than any Hollywood affair or political scandal is how raw and unfiltered it was. There were no paparazzi traps, no PR spin, no carefully controlled leaks. It was just Andy Byron and Kristin Cabot, caught off guard, caught on camera, and caught by millions of strangers in real time. For Andy, this wasn't just the end of a marriage or a career. It was the end of the illusion that he was untouchable. The man who once stood at the top of the AI world is now remembered for a single moment of weakness, a moment that became a symbol of arrogance and betrayal. For Kristin, the silence is deafening. Her career is over. Her marriage is broken. And in the public eye, she's gone from HR chief to corporate cautionary tale. For Meghan Byron, the wife who chose silence over spectacle, this scandal turned her into an icon of grace and strength. While Andy scrambled and Kristin hid, Meghan won the public's respect without saying a single word. And then there's Kristin's husband, the man who decided that humiliation wasn't enough. His lawsuit for $100 million in psychological damages isn't just a legal battle. It's a message that some wounds cut too deep to be ignored. Whether he wins or settles, one thing is clear: he's not backing down. In the end, the Coldplay kiss cam will go down as more than a viral moment. It's a reminder of how fast a life, a company, and a legacy can fall apart in the age of social media. Because in 2025, the rule is simple: make a mistake in private, and maybe you survive. Make it on camera, and you'll pay forever.